Hello and welcome to another PvE speedrun, and this time it's going to be the one-player records from March. This record is apparently my replay over here. It was a pretty close thing in the end because I sort of got this record at the last day in March. Usually like time was like at 14:13 with his time for like the entire month, and I think he could have been like probably he would have been faster if he tried a lot, but he was sort of pretty convinced that his record was about to maintain until the end of the month. But then in the end, I sort of made sure that I sort of found this the strategy change like 2 or 3 days ago. That sort of enabled me to be faster on this map, and in the end I got like to 14 minutes and 9 seconds, which is like such a close victory for me here, and it sort of is a little unlucky for time because I'm pretty sure that he would have been able to do this faster, but right now this is the fastest time of this month. We're going in with the first engage, dread charges splitting up. So in order to make sure that you can understand the focus over here, 3 dread chargers heading for the bandit tent in order to make sure no respawns are happening. These two are attacking the bandit vanguards, who are the most dangerous unit for me with the high M damage against my dread chargers. Spawning a 6th one, and back then I had like motivate in there to support the dread chargers as well, but I sort of had to cut that for the deck slot. Yeah, this is... I think the tier 1 is not as clean as it could have been, but I really don't want the dread chargers to be alive anyways, so this really didn't matter for me. If you like do the dread charger motivate start over here, you can save like 5 dread chargers. If you like the 6th one dies because of the motivate, but right now we want the void return as fast as possible, so I just leave 1 dread charger over here in order to deflect the incoming wave that is coming from the spawn camp, picking up the power wells as early as possible and an embalm his shrine. Really depends on what you want to do. I have like a tier 2 clear with shadow phoenixes prepared. If you want to go with tier 1 units, that is something I did as well, with dread charges, immediately clearing this camp, pulling this in with the soul splicer. I think this would be like much more fun to watch than the classic standard phoenix clear, but yeah, in the end I had like the record time was done with this tier 2 strategy. In the end I am pretty sure that both sort of tier 1, tier 2 strategies were almost equal. I was sort of at the same time with the same amount of power as my tier 4, which is pretty much the important breaking point. Okay, there's another orb being finished, double shadow over here, 2 resource boosters already being built up as early as possible in order to power up my resource income. So this dread charger sort of is important to take the tier 3 in the end, and also needs to deflect these waves. So Shadow Phoenix being played, number 2 is coming in. This 2 Phoenixes are enough to clear this camp. As you can see, for a level 10 random PvE map, this is a pretty laughable tier 2 camp. Very easy. Going for the vanguard over here in order to kill these 2 units, which is necessary to make sure that both Phoenixes are coming back. The dread charger is defending the wave in the meantime. So Phoenix crashing in, another Phoenix crashing in. As you can see, a lot of damage inflicted, another respawn, and right now this is about to die. In the meantime, I sort of wanted to pick up tier 2 with it, but I was completely unaware that these crossbowmen were shooting onto my dread charger, so this died. This was pretty poor, to be honest. This was like a very bad play by me, because I had to play another dread charger, simply delaying my well pick up timing here. This was pretty bad. Another resource booster, double power well coming in at like 3 minutes in the game, like 3:30, 3:40. That was time where you get like the power wells on this side. Like I think you could have been faster with nomads. You were getting these like at 250 or something, but it was pretty hard doing the tier 4, tier 3, tier 4 stuff. with nomads, which is sort of eagle-eyed by the resource boosters that come in early on. Like 7 power wells with resource boosters, that is worth like 9 power wells, or maybe a little more. So I think a little more than 9 power wells, which is pretty superior compared to the fire nature strategy, because it's just about the resource income here, and the energy, the resource boosters are simply way too good at it. So these guys are dying over here. I made sure that the remaining Shadow Phoenixes were enabling me to defend. I sort of didn't need them anymore. Maybe I could have like went up for another camp. I'm not sure. That would have been an idea to sort of make my time faster. But yeah, I sort of made up this strategy change a couple days before the end of the month, so I didn't get to check out everything with the Phoenixes. I was usually trying to go with tier 1 with dread charges, clearing out the stuff, because there were a lot of S units on the board with the Soul Splice and the backline. Sort of making sure that I don't have to pick up tier 2 at all in order to clear anything, and my remaining units were sort of still useful to clear out the next orb. So Monument being played, Cultist Masters make sure that Void Return is coming in. Pretty important. Always getting the Void down to 0 and defending the incoming waves with the Cultist Master as well. So right now I'm at like 260 power. I'm waiting for the Cultist Masters to be able to reactivate their ability. Enlightenment's being played, and this is gonna be a pretty classic Bataria run. Cultist Masters being destroyed in order to make sure that I get up to the 300 power over here to get this Bataria on the board. Pretty standard unit for speedruns due to the insanely strong aura effect. This guy will start marching to the first camp. In the meantime, I'm saving another power for the next Enlightenment. I just played this Nether Ward because I want to enable a little faster clearing time, and I want the Bataria in a position where he can attack the Spearman from the side, because then I can walk up to this camp clearly. Otherwise he will get slowed down and this entire wave will respawn, and if the Bataria burns out, he has to attack twice or even 3 times again before his burning effect starts to apply again, which is sort of saving me a couple of seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, not the biggest deal. But since this was a pretty easy map, it was like about efficiency in terms of timing. Yeah, the Bataria pretty effective at clearing the camp. In the meantime, another Enlightenment, Cultist Master combo in order to summon the second Bataria over here. This one is walking up to this camp. There you go. It was pretty important to get the focus onto the Bandit Bouncer here. This guy would paralyze the Bataria and simply slow down the clear of this camp by a lot. Also pretty important to have that second Bataria on the board over here. This one will start walking upwards again. This one is fighting for this camp because there's like a spawn wave that will head onto your tier 3. And if you have like this second Bataria on the board pretty early, there's no need to defend this wave with anything at your tier 3 spot. So this is engaging this camp. The Bataria will head for the Bandit Bouncer again to not get paralyzed. This is the most important part. When you clear the spawn waves, the Bataria aura will do everything else well. So this was an early heal and buffing circle, because I have like the Void Return from the Cultist Masters, and I really need to be careful when to set up my spells, because I want to synchronize this with the death of the Night Crawlers. So this has been pretty annoying. This should not have happened. This paralyze is costing me a little time in terms of clearing this here. I thought this bouncer would have died with ease, but right now these Batarians are starting to fight together, making sure that the paralyzed guy dies again. Buildings are getting attacked, and the heal pretty much more effective onto multiple units. As you may know, this is an area of effect spell. So making sure these Batarials are healed up. The Cultist Masters, I will play 4 of them and activate them in sort of different periods of so the Furnace of Flesh will also already get all these crawlers. Once you have like 4 or 5 Cultist Masters, this may happen that like the Furnace of Flesh is not able to sort of to soak up all the crawlers in time before they expire, because it takes a little bit of time. So the oink being done because the Bandit Monster was here and would have paralyzed the Batarial, but right now you can see the huge synergy of these spells. Earthshaker in order to make sure these guys don't respawn at all. In the meantime, this Batarial is simply sitting here and deflecting incoming waves. He's needed later on, but I cannot engage 2 camps at the same time because there's a Slave Master waiting for me, and there's a lot of threats. Maybe not at this camp, but at least in the backline camps with 4 Wind Hunters. There needs to be a lot of spell support being done. As you can see, split up Cultist Master activations to make sure that I have constant Void Return and also sort of not overcapped Furnace of Flesh. And in the meantime, the Batarial will head for the Torture Guns over here. They take a lot of time to be cleared out, and therefore I will start making sure that they get focused. Earthshaker clearing out the spawn camp, so I don't have to worry about that, and can sort of have a clear tension path here. This guy dying to the effect of the buffs, and right now I really want to walk in with the active buffs into the next camp. You can see like 4 Wind Hunters, pretty annoying. Frantic Assault, a little misplay to be honest. I wanted to get this onto one of the units over here, so all Wind Hunters are disabled, forcing me to play Disenchant. But it's okay because this is something I didn't sort of comment on. I switched my Am I Monument from Nature to Fire right when I was over here with the Batarials walking up. Completely forgot to comment on this. Which is very important because this allows me to play Disenchant to get rid of the annoying paralyze effect of the Wind Hunter. So next camp going in, another Disenchant, making my Batarials crowd control immune for a short amount of time, and there you can see pretty effective clear, and the rest he will be able to do this on its own. All spawn waves that get activated head down to this path here, so this Batarial is sort of ready to deflect these spawn waves, these big spawn waves, and while this Batarial will wait for the final wave in order to engage for the last camp. I think it would be possible to, I'm not sure, to kill this and just go for this path, but I do have enough power right now. It's not about that, it's just about the use of my spells, when to use them and how effectively I use them. So right here, having this wave stacking up with my Batarial is pretty good to make use of the aura effect while fighting the Slave Master. It simply removes the spawn waves on its own. Earthshaker being played to remove the spawn building again. Another heal coming in to make sure this guy is not getting killed. Paralyze targets always prioritized in order to make sure that this guy can run through. So another void regain here. Down here, as you can see, I really need to hold this as low as possible. Right now, I was like a little slow with the kill onto these guys. Early triple buff again with the Disenchant, getting into the middle of all these units. It took a little too long here to turn around for me, but I was pretty lucky that I didn't get paralyzed over here. Usually you could play an Earthshaker onto the building over here as well, but I don't have the charges, so I had to kill it by myself. But it didn't cost me anything, no response over here. Just this wave that needs to be removed. In the meantime, I start playing a Fallen Sky Elf and 2 Bloodhorns, because right here there's a Command Walker, pretty strong boss. In the meantime, this Batarial attacks over here, makes sure this wave is getting cleared. This guy over here is engaging the last camp. It's super important to have the buffs on top here, otherwise the guy dies super fast. This is like with Life Weaving, with Unholy Hero. If you don't get the buffs in time here, Frenetic Assault to get more protection for the Batarial, it's really annoying. Right here, so in order to make sure that you catch everything, I played an Earthshaker to get rid of the spawn camp. and also use the nether warp to bring the wind hunters over here into the range of the aura of the Batarial. Otherwise you will be unable to kill them effectively because the command walker will stand in your way to do this. So right now I'm not caring about this Batarial, it's about the Bloodhounds again, because they do have XL bonus damage and the 100% damage buff, and with like 200% extra damage due to the Unholy Hero, it's another 200% damage buff, and then you add like 200% damage, extra damage from the Fallen Scav, and then this Command Walker dies super quickly, as you can see. Super effective. Another Stampede to clear out the remaining buildings, and this is the end of the replay. So yeah, this was like my record run. The first time in Skywars Reborn that I made the first place in the end, but as I said, it's probably if Time was like aware that I was capable of beating his time, he probably would have played this map a little more and it would have ended up being faster. But yeah, in the end I ended up with this record. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.